Hello and welcome to Family DynamiKs. It's Katherine.
And Liz.
And Ed.
And John.
And we have our mom with us. First time on camera, Mom. Say hello.
In
Hello.
studio, yes.
I do. I talk. I walk.
There she is, Mary Killmond, everybody. And a round of applause.
We got you in on camera, and it went totally smoothly.
Yeah,
All the
I mean there was hairspray that was needed.
We
There was
need
a lot-
glam. We need glam.
Yeah, we might need a little more prep time
This
now
is
that we're.
a very self-produced podcast, so we did the glam, we did the wardrobe.
Well, Mom did her own wardrobe. I love this top. It's very
She's part
cute.
of our
Mom.
we.
Yeah, it's my special.
Oh,
top.
well, that's because we helped you clean out your closet yesterday.
What? Oh, I didn't know
Virginia
that.
and I'm just going to tell one story. So, our younger sister, Gigi, goes over on Fridays usually to help with the small project. And she said, if you can swing by. And I thought, I can today. So I come into a cleaning out of some drawers. 2 items, only 2, had been given away.
Oh,
so
geez.
there was not a mass clean out happening. But then we sort of move on to the closet. And you actually were pretty good about getting rid of some shirts in there. But there's things hanging on the door. And I said, what is that? And it was sort of a very soft gray sleeveless vest. Long
yeah.
vest with a hood.
With a hood. Oh,
There
okay.
were so many moth holes in there. It's like all these moths gone.
Oh, it's delicious.
It was
apparently.
hanging on by 2 threads.
It used to have sleeves.
Oh, 100%. They just went. So, needless to say, Mom goes, "Oh no! What'd you say you like
I
to do?"
said I love to get that wrapped around me at night when I'm reading or something. It's so cozy.
Or so, I'm like, how does it provide you any warmth with all these holes?
It feels very light. I don't know if it's all of the leftover wings from all the moths, but it feels very uplifting.
So I said, Mom, no. If you, God forbid, passed away in your sleep while reading in that chair, we would all be called in for elderly abuse because it looked insane. So that you actually let that go. And that was like straight to the trash. That was not, you can't even give that away.
Oh, no.
I thought you were going to pull one of your classic, well, I'm going to repair it. I'm going to darn it.
Well, I did several times.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, so that was sort of what was happening yesterday, which was fun. And we actually got, a good bag or 2 that will be donated. So we made some progress.
Wait, where is this bag of stuff? Because I know somebody who might want to peruse it before it gets donated.
That's true.
Oh, your daughter Sarah does
She
like
does
old lady
love
stuff.
She loves that style. She really does.
Yes, it's at my house,
Okay,
so you can
all
swing
right.
by and get it and peruse
Thank
it
goodness.
first. Okay.
Yes, I will be by promptly to pick it up.
Oh, if Sarah rolls in one of Grand Mary's
She
shirts,
might.
I will die.
She might.
Okay, and then so actually, why don't we pick up where we left off with Grand Mary and her HERstory?
Yes, okay, so
we gave you that was a little bit of the modern,
current.
the current stuff we deal with. Let's go back into her history. Yes.
Now, let's just take a little moment to
Yeah.
say, I turned 80 this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we've been in the same house for 50 years.
Wow.
So, decluttering that house is a 50-year-old
Yes.
project. I mean, I set it up for over 50
Yeah,
years.
it's been
before-
building up.
But I will say the majority of the people that occupied the house have moved out. So what is having to be decluttered is all your stuff at this point, mostly. I mean, it's like, holy moly, lady.
Well, and that you're mostly just dealing with wardrobe and closet stuff. We haven't really gotten
Okay,
into
wait.
books yet. There
Oh,
were
the
2
office?
teachers.
The
that
book
just
is a hot
collected
topic.
forever.
We also do the front closet, which is jackets and it was
And
like,
purses and other purses.
and butt packs and this, and it was like, and she had so many grocery totes, and I am now a person that does an intervention with people. It's like everybody has too many grocery totes. So I was like, we're getting rid of all of them that are not like really cute or canvas or sturdy. And she's like, wait. I'm like, no. But the jackets were so funny. It's like, this one's for a walk. This one, like if it's rained. This one's, it was like everything had a season or a reason. So we just let it flow and we kept them. There was no push it. And then I found, Katherine,
Oh, God.
an old jacket of mine that was a jean duster.
Oh,
like
I
was a
remember this
cowboy.
coat. I remember this coat.
Like I was
Absolutely.
a cowboy in the San Fernando Valley in the 90s.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I was a real badass. And I think you wore them with like half cowboy boots. And I tried it on because I was like, oh my God, do I want it back? Like, has it come back
Of
in style?
course.
The answer is kind of a resounding no. And I mean, and the buttons have all turned to that, like they might have been navy and now they're kind of a weird purple.
Oh.
So I think it was Gigi. She goes, well, you can replace the buttons. I'm like, this is too much of a stretch. No. So that went right back in Mom's closet for like archival reasons.
Oh, you didn't even get rid of it?
No, we can't get rid of that.
All that stuff is like a Halloween costume fodder.
No, yes,
ready
an
to go.
iconic piece of my wardrobe that I left at Mom's house.
I honestly was thinking about like
interesting when it's Liz's and we don't want to.
No, we can't get rid of it.
hand-me-downs from Mary Killmond. I do see Sarah wearing those red, white, and green Christmas shoes at some point.
Wait a minute.
Liz
Ed.
wants
Ed,
them back, but
John's going to lose his mind. Those are my shoes.
I know.
These are this Mrs. Claus.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or elf, because I think I might need to borrow them again to be like an elf at Christmas. So they are like a half boot white, but the tip is suede red and the back has like a green patch. They were so awesome at Christmas. I mean, I was like basically just like holiday cheer in them. And I wanted to get rid of them. And somehow or other, I do not remember because once again, this is probably 25 years ago. Mom and I have the same shoe size. So you took them and it was like a Christmas only like 5 years ago. She comes out rocking her like Talbot plaid pants.
Oh, uh-huh.
And we're going to put a picture of these. You're going to agree with me. These shoes have not gone out of style. So Talbot plaid pants.
No, they
and
just have one season where they are in style
True.
perennially.
They're very pointy.
Yes.
I'm very pointy. But pointy's back in. 90s is back in.
Okay.
Okay, so Mom walks out like, why are you making the face? You wear them.
I do.
So she walks out like a Christmas, like fa la la, like all decked out. And I looked down and I go, wait, I thought those shoes
Long
were
gone.
Goodwill gone 20 years ago. And they looked good. So, of course, I instantly was like, I want them back. But they have remained at your house. I have not borrowed them. So, yes, there are some iconic pieces of my clothing. I've always had kind of unique taste that can remain at Mom's, and they might come back up again in holiday seasons.
Well, you could take custody of it and just take it home, this jean duster.
No,
It belongs at Mom's? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
At this point, yes. All right, so wait. We got to get on topic. We got to get on your HERstory. So, Katherine, you were saying, where did we leave off?
We left off. We talked about you were pregnant with Rosemary, which is number 5. And I don't think we actually discussed her birth. And then obviously somewhere very close in there, you then got pregnant with Ginny, number 6, and we moved to the San Fernando Valley. So
That's a story for another day.
well,
Okay.
maybe it's for this day. Okay, so start with Rosie. So you
Rosie. So
we're up to the birth for sure.
After
Yeah.
Liz, I was thinking, well, that's probably not the end, but I'm really worn out.
I was number 4.
Yeah.
And all of us.
In 4 years.
Yeah, very close in age.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I found out while I was kind of struggling with the whole thing, like, really, how do you read this? I mean, I don't know. So I asked this priest in confession because I was having such a struggle with it, and it was at Loyola at the prayer meetings I used to go to there, and he taught biochemistry.
Oh.
And he said, most people don't know this. He said, but a healthy young woman has a 2-year reserve of biochemicals in her system that will support a pregnancy and birth in the first year of the child. And he says it takes about a year and a half to 2 years to replace.
Yeah. You've had no build-up time in between all these kids.
And that's what he said. He said, you've been in bankruptcy for about 3 years or 4 years.
What an interesting way to put it, that your body's in bankruptcy because you've just been taxing it with all these kids and
Back-to-back
pregnancies.
Yeah, back-to-back.
So anyway, so here was coming Rosemary. And I was feeling really good. It was like, oh, after I had you, I told you the whole story about the spiritual awakening I had. And so I was really pretty positive going into it. I don't know what happened exactly, but we had to change doctors.
Oh, with Rosemary, you had a different doctor than the first 4?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in because St. John's wasn't letting fathers into the delivery room yet.
Oh.
Yeah, they were a little lagging behind.
And
there.
you wanted Dad in the delivery room when you had.
He wanted to be there.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
He likes directing, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a standard now, but to think when we were growing up that it was not the
it
norm.
was.
Yeah.
And when we had you, I think I told that little story about
Oh, me, Katherine. Mm-hmm.
we were on TV when you were a tiny baby
Oh.
at Mother's Day weekend.
Uh-huh.
And I had a natural childbirth, which was really quite surprising because most women like to be knocked out and waking up the next day and told what happened.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. You can just skip the whole thing. Right. Yeah, sure.
That was not my game. And so anyway, so they had us on television with you.
Oh.
And of course, we're, talking on camera and so forth. And all of a sudden, I know what's going on.
Uh-oh.
A big
Wait a
and
minute.
we're on camera,
Wait a
and
minute.
there's no way they would know.
Wait, I need to know more about this national shit that just happened. So wait a minute. Wait a
Wait,
minute.
what show was this?
Yeah, was it local
Liz,
news?
it's a national treasure.
Yeah.
It was somebody who had an interview program. I don't know. I don't.
Phil
remember that.
Donahue.
And
No,
what was sort of the topic? Like the baby that was born on Mother's Day or around Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
or were you talking about natural childbirth? What
yeah,
were
well,
you?
that's what they were really interested in hearing about. Mm-hmm. And so
So you're all wiped out in the hospital room when they come and
Oh
interview?
no, they didn't. I mean, they weren't in the hospital room. We had to get dressed up and leave the other children at home and blah blah.
You went
blah.
to a studio
Yeah.
to record this? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
This was a big deal.
Yeah.
How did you get roped into this, Dad?
I know.
Dad, friend of Dad's, and they got talking, and he said, "I want to do a show on this."
I'm intrigued. I want to find out what show it was.
So
but okay.
was she making noise or was it just
no.
you knew?
It was
No,
just
I just
wafting
knew.
wonderful smells of baby poop.
Ooh, this
Luckily,
is
there's
a very warm
A little
baby
bit
now.
looking, what do I want to say?
Concentrate.
Concentrated.
Yeah, focus.
So thank God no smell-o-vision existed.
It was just,
Oh God.
it was just one of
You're
the
like, isn't she gorgeous? She just gained
No,
it.
don't shake her. No
don't.
bouncing right now.
Don't do it.
Yeah, were they cloth or were you
Oh,
already
no,
into
there were paper diapers. That was
Okay,
one of the
thank God.
things. And nobody had started on ecology yet about paper diapers and trees and all
It was
that.
being a problem.
convenience
Yeah.
I
completely.
just said I'm spending my whole allotment on paper diapers.
Yeah. That's your vote. Your vote went to paper
Oh.
diaper or disposable diapers, rather.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so
You're talking to the priest of Loyola. He tells you you're
he does-
depleted.
yeah. And then Dad wants to be in the delivery room. So
Right.
I got a new doctor who would work with us. A little flash of memory how I got that doctor
Yeah.
was very strange. But anyway,
Strange how? What do you mean?
doctors, I wanted to interview them. I did not want to just go with any bozo.
Oh.
I had a lot of background here. I
Okay.
knew how things could be.
Yeah.
And so I interviewed some doctors. Some doctors were going to charge you for a whole medical appointment for that.
Oh, charge you for a visit to just talk to them.
And I thought, if you're not interested, then I'm not interested.
Oh, interesting. Uh-huh.
Yeah, anyway. So we got this nice doctor, and this is so funny. I got up in the morning, just like when you were born, and I thought, oh, here it comes.
This is the day.
Wait, here it comes. You mean here the baby comes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You realized
Here
you were in
comes
labor.
labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it didn't go anywhere. It kind of pooped around, and I took a nap.
Oh, geez.
It was just silly. And so I called my mom and I said, Mom, I need you to come over now because I need to go to the hospital. Oh, your brother's coming over for dinner with his wife, Helen. I thought,
Oh, this is your-
and
yeah.
what would
Reschedule.
bring them? How about bring them and they can help you with the baby?
Yeah. The various children. So this is your brother Richard and his wife, Helen.
Yes,
Got
yes.
it? Mhm.
And so finally, Frank just called her and said, we have to leave now.
Oh, uh-huh.
So we'll get Janet to come up, but you've
Oh, a
got to come
babysitter.
over here.
Janet Singleton?
Yeah.
Oh, that was straight out of like a 1970s, that family. It was a big family that lived on Rose Avenue in Santa Monica with us.
Yeah.
And they were
Across the street
just,
and down the way a bit.
yeah, they were older than us so that, some of the older daughters could babysit us. The boys were too cool. And they were all surfers and skateboarders because we were right in Santa Monica. And if you took Rose Avenue, you could
Straight
catch
down.
Ocean and be at, the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
So as a kid, it was like, how is there a house more chaotic than ours?
But it
Well,
definitely
that's what it was.
Well, we were all really small at that point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Janet just loved coming over. So.
Right. So Janet Singleton came over.
Yeah. So anyway, so we went, and all of a sudden it really had picked up speed.
Oh.
See, when I called my mother the first time, I was right. It was when we needed to go. So we get in there, and Frank's going to be in the delivery room, and he has to put on scrubs and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. And so he's tracking behind me, and he comes in, and the water breaks
Oh.
when he came in. And I all of a sudden go into a huge contraction.
Oh.
And everybody's laughing because the doctor was right in front of me with water.
Oh,
Oh, got
jeez.
splattered.
And so, anyway, he said, "You better pay attention to her. She's really having a big contraction."
Oh,
Frank
Dad said
did,
this? Oh,
because
yeah.
they were all, so amused at what had happened that they really weren't paying attention.
Oh, geez.
And she came out in the next contraction.
Oh, wow.
She was like,
Wait.
"Whoa!"
That was foretelling.
Oh, wasn't it?
Because Rosie this will be for a later time, but one hell of a fast runner until puberty hit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was an indication of like her
She was speedy.
very high energy and speed.
Well, I thought I had twin boys in there. There was
What's
so
wrong?
much activity.
Well, you knew before you gave birth you didn't have twins, right? Because they could
Yeah.
tell the heartbeat. Okay, yeah.
No, every once in a while they would miss.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And of
But-
course, by this time, I didn't really start getting huge during pregnancy until Ginny came along.
You were too busy.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I
probably.
I wore a size 5.
Oh, my
Just long time ago. Anyway, so the doctor got there just in time to catch her. I mean,
Oh, geez.
it was crazy.
Well, he was all wet because of you, so,
Too bad.
Yeah.
Got a lot of
So-
money for that.
Dad being in the room, it was no long session. It was
No.
like, okay, yes, you can be in the room for 5 minutes. Like,
It was quick.
oh my gosh. And that was more the traditional. Now they have birthing rooms where you give birth and maybe you even stay there and everything happens there. This was a traditional, like
Like
sort of
hospital room.
Yeah.
you gave birth and then you're going to be transferred to a actual hospital room. And did they have a nursery back there where, bye, we're going to whisk the baby off to the nursery?
Probably at first they did. I don't remember.
But this was the era that you would spend like 5 days in the hospital, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is nice.
Well, with all those kids at home,
Oh, yeah.
No rush to go home, yeah.
Can
I bet you want to go home. No, I don't.
There's a detail that I think I know you're going to jump in with a whole story about it, but wasn't Rosemary the first baby that you had Lamaze training for? Like Lamaze hadn't existed for any other baby before, and Rosemary was the first one, and then absolutely useless because it came out on the second contraction. Like
Pretty fast.
Didn't actually help.
I don't really remember. I realize that I'm beginning to forget some details.
Well, yeah, that's it. So, but there was Lamaze training at some point that might have not been
I
fully
thought it was
utilized.
before Katherine.
No. Yeah.
Like all the breathing and
Yeah.
back rubbing.
We
and-
took Red Cross training before James, and then William came along so quickly that we thought, well, we haven't forgotten anything we took. And it really was just information. It wasn't really a technique. So I think it was before you were born. We were in like the first or second class in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't, I don't know what got a hold of me, but I was real determined about this. And other people just thought I was crazy.
the joke is always like, birth plan, who knows, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
just whatever's gonna
it's
happen.
going to be, and the best thing you can be is relaxed, or
Yeah.
the priority is the health of the baby and the mother, and then that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
But it's like a birth plan is always like, we've got a birth plan. Well, God or, the hospital, the baby, there'll be other plans. So you got to roll with it. So then you came home after a couple days with Rosie.
Oh, no, probably 5.
Right. And to Rose Avenue, we're still living in Santa Monica.
And there was a thing with Rosemary. They brought her into my room when I got to my room, and they took her right out. Just let me see her, and then took her out. And they brought her for me to nurse her, and they were starting to take her out. And I said, aren't you going to leave her here? And she said, no, she has a blood type incompatibility with you.
What?
And so she's jaundiced.
Oh.
And jaundiced is not nothing. You can become mentally disabled from
Really?
having jaundice that isn't taken care of right
Treated
away.
or something.
Yeah. It's not terribly difficult to treat, but so I was really worried about it. It's like your first baby that's got a problem. And so I ended up calling it was called the House of Prayer, where the guys from the prayer meeting, the leaders, lived together. So I called them to tell them that she was born, because they were so excited about it, because I did the whole 9 yards while I was there. So we have this lovely talk, and he's all excited. And then he said, well, how are you, and how's the baby? And I started crying.
Aw.
And he said, what's wrong? And I said, well, she's jaundiced, and they can't leave her in my room, and I don't know what's going to happen, and, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, you want to pray? I said, on the phone?
Oh my gosh, now that's a typical thing.
Yeah. And he said, Ma Bell approves.
Oh wait, Ma
Ma
Bell
Bell.
is like the phone company?
Yeah.
That's a
funny.
real throwback.
yeah.
Sorry. I mean, Pac Bell. I mean, I don't even know what.
Southern Belle.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Anyway, so we prayed together, and I just was completely calm. And so I called Daddy the next morning at about 7, which of course he wasn't awake.
With 4 children in the house?
Yeah, well, you know.
Who's waking up with the kids?
Oh, I think maybe it was 6 o'clock or something.
Okay. I mean,
Anyway,
jeez.
so we had a little tiny chat, and then I said, Rosie's all right. And he said, oh, good. And he hung up. Didn't ask any questions. Never asked any questions.
Oh my
about
gosh.
it.
Great. I'm going back to sleep.
I do remember, because jaundice part of the treatment is like put the baby in the sun. They need vitamin D. They need sun.
Yeah, John had it too.
Right. Okay, so it was
Sarah
John.
had it. Yeah.
I remember that being an issue with other kids, but I was like, I was too young to remember because Rosie and I are so close in age. It's not my memory of Rosemary,
no.
so it's of John.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so now you come home and she's doing well.
She was a champ. Not too much later, school started, and I had a carpool to drive
Oh,
in the
geez.
morning. And she would wake up at 6 o'clock, and she'd have a nice nurse, and she'd go back to sleep. I'd put her in a car bed, and she wouldn't wake up till we got home from the carpool.
Wow. I want to
Take
go back
everybody,
to. Yeah.
drop them all off, and we even picked up somebody else.
I want to go back to car bed. What is a car bed? So is
that was before seatbelts.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And seats in the car for the babies.
So where did you put her? What is a
And
car
she had a
bed?
nice little, it was like a cradle. And it was on a frame. You could fold it up and put it away. But you could also put it in the back of our station wagon. So
she was in the back of the station wagon?
wagon? In the back of the station wagon in the car bed.
I mean, this is very precarious because we'll not go into your driving history, but it wasn't great. So, I mean, no kids in seatbelts, a kid in a car
Oh my
bed.
gosh.
And y'all lived. So what
yeah,
are
I
you
mean-
complaining about?
But
Wait,
at
I have
that
a question. Can I just ask, what was Dad doing at this time? Like, what was his job in this era? I don't have a clear idea of
He
that.
may have been teaching school.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he started teaching school when you were a baby.
Ah, okay.
A regular gig versus the acting.
Yes, and I remember the first 6 weeks that Rosie was home, he was doing a play
Oh.
for
mean,
what was his
that's-
that
I mean, way to
what was the
occupy.
name? What was the name of that?
Beverly Hills Playhouse, Pasadena Playhouse.
No.
Theater 40.
Theater 40.
Theater 40. Okay.
And total aside, but do either of you watch Virgin River?
Oh, I know of it. I don't watch it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's really charming.
Uh-huh.
But
I think
the
Ginny
doctor-
watches it.
The doctor in it
Uh-huh.
was in Theater 40, and I knew it when he
Oh,
was
really?
just starting.
Oh.
And he was gorgeous, and he's an awfully good-looking old man, too. Older man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway. So that's just...
A side
little
note.
side
so
note.
we just found out Mom had a crush on somebody way
I
back
did.
when.
And so he was in a play with Dad
Yeah.
at this time-ish. Okay.
At this very busy time for you.
So Dad's in this play, and finally at the end of 6 weeks it's over, and I think, oh, thank God, because he was not home from...
I would have killed him.
Well, get this. So then Theater 40 had another play starting.
Oh.
And I said, you can't do this. I can't keep doing this. This is...
It's too much.
I need you.
Support.
Yeah.
And he was going to be a supernumerary. You know what that means?
No.
Supernumerary is like the soldiers in the background that you need real human beings, but they don't have any lines.
right.
Oh,
They're
no.
never on screen really particularly.
It's a Greek tragedy and they're just sort of
Yes.
observing.
No. They're soldiers. They're Greek soldiers, but
Oh.
Which is
I
funny
was
because
ready to just...
Throttle him?
Oh, I just begged him to stay home, and he went anyway. He said,
Oh,
you
no.
know, they can't do these kind of shows unless everybody participates, blah, 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 blah. And I thought,
Oh,
well,
gosh.
too bad.
Oh, no.
And so anyway, I just went to bed, and I got in bed, all my clothes. I just thought, I can't do this. you know?
Aw.
So after a little bit, I called Mary Hartzell, because she's one of my good friends, and she wasn't home. But Jules was.
One of her kids.
No, not at
You mean Dwayne?
Dwayne.
Mhm,
Dwayne.
her husband then.
Dwayne was home. And he talked to me for about 45 minutes.
Oh.
Just so helpful. And so I just felt, okay, I guess I can do this.
Aw.
But I called Mary Hartzell the next day. I love this story. Called Mary Hartzell the next day, and I said, I was talking to Dwayne last night, and I told her what was going on and stuff. And she said, well, let's pray, because he feels responsible to this group. And so you don't want to just completely forget about that. And you really need him there. So let's pray that they cancel the show.
Oh, what an interesting fix.
They canceled the show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They only did it twice in their history.
In their history,
In their
holy
whole-
moly.
From day one to when they finished.
That's some powerful praying you two did.
Uh-oh, scary.
The two Marys got together and canceled the show.
It was just, I was like,
Mary
so
squared is
relieved.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
And you know,
he was so bummed. I guarantee you, he was like, I'm gonna be home all the time now.
yeah, but he's really good with babies. I mean, he was the one who had to take a baby care course. You know?
Yeah.
I thought, what? I don't need that. Anyway, so that was, life was a wild round of things.
And we were living in the Rose Avenue
house.
and that had how many bedrooms?
3.
3,
So
yeah.
that is now 5 kids.
Yeah,
That's
5.
7 people were living in that house. So at what point were you like, all right, we got to move?
When I got pregnant with Ginny,
Yeah.
it was like, okay.
But Virginia and Rosie are about 2 years apart. They're a little more like,
a little more space.
we all are all barely like 18 months apart from each
Yeah,
other.
the first 5 were super
Right.
close. Because I do remember very clear memories of the Rose Avenue house that it was the 3 girls in one bedroom. Did we have a bunk bed? And then the crib for Rosemary. And then the boys were in the other room.
and they had a bunk bed.
They had a bunk bed also. Okay.
Any of those bunk beds make it to 5087?
yeah.
Was it the classic bunk bed that is still there?
Oh, not the one that was there.
No, okay, that
But
it
it
got
came-
introduced at 5087.
Oh,
Okay,
it came
good.
to 5087.
Ours
used
did.
for years.
The one that us girls used
Yeah, which was like
absolutely
a
did.
stacked,
Yeah,
very
it-
precarious,
like the-
not, yeah.
The things fit into each other.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. If you moved too wrong, it'd be like do, and the mattress would come down and squash your sister, which
I mean, did happen.
Well, there was
purposely
so
did it.
much more room for activities.
I had to do it to Rosemary. It's like that's why that scene in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly literally to my soul can make me laugh so hard because that is Rosie and I. Like I would crush her on the often. Just I can't breathe. If you're talking, you're breathing. Like just horrible.
Well, it's that whole thing if you push your feet against the mattress at the top and then it would get dislodged.
Boom, right on top of each other.
Oh, and she loved it because it was so ugly the way it was made. You could see the under.
Oh, yeah.
under thing of
You
the-
could see the mattress under there.
under there. So I covered it
Oh.
with some patchwork material. It was quite nice. And Elizabeth found how to get her clothes in under the bed up there so she didn't have to really clean them up.
It made no
Put
sense.
stuff
I
in
mean,
there.
more effort. Now you look back, like more effort to try and jam and shove them in there. And then it's like, where is my pink tank top? It's like, you idiot. It's shoved underneath your bed frame. Like, I mean, my logic, Lizzie logic, is still flawed to this day.
It's not logic, actually.
Right. So now you have had 2 years off of like, just having the kids. You were breastfeeding. I was not of school age. I do not remember going to school in Santa Monica.
No, I have.
No.
Can I ask a question? I do have another memory, Liz. I hope this is not embarrassing. Didn't
I
Liz
hope it
wear some
is.
kind of she wore
Yes.
some kind of leg braces or something? What was that about?
She was kind of pigeon-toed. They
Yeah.
put a thing that would clamp onto the bottom of her shoes and a bar in between the feet.
But she only
And
wore
then
it
the
like for
angle-
sleeping or
Yes,
something.
right.
Yes.
So it
okay.
wasn't run, Forrest, run, and the braces come off. But one of the things I do have a weird little memory of that I'd wake up from my nap in, at that point in the like a cradle, and I'd stand up and I'd kick it, and it'd be so loud in my with steel-toed shoes, basically.
Oh, you used those as a weapon.
I had
You
to.
were terrible.
I had 3 older siblings. You have to defend
yeah, you
yourself.
didn't have to kick me.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. I'm not pigeon-toed anymore.
No.
which today
Beautiful.
worked.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it is a thing now. I don't hear it very often, but I'm sure it still exists. And I meant not that pigeon toe doesn't exist, just how they treat it. Like
or if they're even worried about it. I mean, it would have to be, it would have to be something that needed correction, which I don't.
Well, it worked, so thank you, Mom.
This is Dad's favorite memory from that period of time when we were still on Rose Avenue. Kids were out in the backyard playing, and he saw James run across the window from the dining area to out there, and then William, and then Katherine, and you came after them, trying to bite them. He laughed about that so many times.
Well, being the fourth, thinking you're going to be the youngest and that's going to be it. It's like, like I said.
You get away with anything.
Here comes my little sister, very shocking, right on my heels, Rosie.
Yeah.
And we were always described as like the two fighting puppies or the two wrestling kittens. Like we just would get so in each other's shit. It was just like a nightmare.
You were also very interesting because it was a sort of mid-child syndrome. And if something good was going on with the older kids, you were all about them.
They
and if the little ones were getting treats, you were all about them.
I worked both sides of the party, and then, but honestly, it's like I was the youngest of the first four, and then oldest. And because Rosie and I were so close in age, it was almost a little like Irish twins.
Yeah.
Because we were in high school together and all that. So what was the decision, or how was it made? Like, because, Dad being an actor in Hollywood, to move to the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, because he had more access at Rose Avenue to getting to auditions and stuff. Oh, wait, before we move on from Rose Avenue, because we're going to discuss how we ended up moving to the Valley, I did want to ask, did we have the Playhouse at Rose Avenue? I feel like I remember the Playhouse being in the backyard, or was it just a detached garage?
Yes.
I fell down something and got a big cut on my thigh that was very dramatic that I remember from Rose Avenue for some reason.
Yeah, you guys were into
Yeah.
You just did the most maniacal things. I just thought, they're really crazy.
Even when I was older, I would drive by and there was like a wagon wheel in the front yard of that house for years.
What do you mean a wagon wheel?
Like, like as a decor item, they had like a round
Rosemary
wagon
has
wheel.
in front of her house now, right?
Oh, kind of.
She was like 10.
Yeah, so it was very identifiable for many years that you could drive through that part of Santa Monica.
You know what
and see
happened was we needed more room. Mm-hmm. That was, the dining room table seated 6.
And there was a family room, right? Like a front family room? Or
yes.
some kind of family room, and that's where my Christmas memories are from. Like, there was some kind of little half bar area where the cat had kittens down in that area.
Yes.
Like,
that we had animals too. Just add to the chaos.
I'm obviously old enough that I remember enough about that house. Like, I have some pretty clear memories of it. Do you, Liz, at
I
all?
have very few memories of it just because I was so little.
Yeah, you were little.
I remember few being in the kitchen memories. In my crib probably was like at that point like 3 years old. But bizarrely, one of my long-term memories is being out front and watching, like, as the sun was setting, the Singleton boys coming up from the beach on their skateboards with their surfboards underneath their arms. And it was like straight out of like Endless Summer vibe, basically. I mean, it was just like, as a kid, you're like, there's those cool older boys. And we were allowed to be on the front lawn because it was the 70s and it was much freer. Like, no parent was around. And it probably was you and I, and we're watching the cool older boys like, hi. But we're so little. It wasn't even like we had a crush on them. It was just like, oh, they're so big. That's one of my long-term memories.
That's so interesting. I don't remember. That's probably why you remember that they were surfers. Because when you said that, I wouldn't have remembered that they were surfers.
John, what's that movie, if you remember? It's about that 70s culture, skateboarding and surfing in the Santa Monica area. It's like the dog days of...
Yeah, Lords of Dogtown or something?
Yes.
Or Dogtown Z-Boys is the documentary.
And I guess I asked Janet, I'm like, were those your brothers, basically? And she's like, they were peripherally in that circle.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were like the old school, like, skateboards, like the big boards that they were like tweaking with the screwdriver in the garage.
Find an empty pool and do all that. Yeah.
And literally being barefoot, with their surfboards, just in shorts. I mean, so it was just...
I do have to say that tracks now a little bit more, that James and William with skateboards, because there were like not skateboarders around Woodland Hills. Oh, that's not where that came from. That came from Santa Monica.
Yeah, that's
they
interesting.
picked that up there. And then William boogie boarding and wanted to surf later. Both of those track too. I grew up there. That's my vibe.
Yes.
That
does make a little
interesting.
sense. Although we were not It wasn't like we were going down to the beach every day.
No, we weren't super beachy.
Oh, are you kidding? I mean,
too much
taking
work.
a bunch of kids to the
Yeah,
beach
I can't
and
even.
trying to keep them corralled and then having them all full of sand.
Which is too bad because you love the beach,
I
but
do.
and you were really close to it at that point.
I know.
All right.
Oh,
Okay,
well.
so Ginny's on the way, and we need more space. And Dad.
And so Dad
Yeah.
was teaching at Crespi at that point.
Oh, he was already. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think I forgot. So this is a local high school in the San Fernando Valley.
An all boys Catholic high school.
Right. Okay. I don't think I knew he ever taught there.
I don't know how many
I don't.
years.
I know, John. I don't think I did. What years?
Didn't you teach speech there?
No, that was
No, that was
Chaminade.
Chaminade. But I do remember Crespi.
He started the drama program at Crespi.
What?
Oh.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And I auditioned several times for the Crespi theater program, and I should have been given preferential treatment. And
In
given
a
starring
total
roles.
role reversal,
And-
Liz couldn't get a part in the theater that Dad started, whereas Mom and Dad met at a theater.
I was basically the role that Dad played at Theater 40. I was in the background holding a sword. I did,
Supernumerary. That's called.
yes, I was a supernumerary in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, we did it together.
Yes, I think you actually may have had a more prestigious
No,
part.
I didn't.
Sunrise, sunset. It's like that was our big scene, walking out with the entire village. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it
Well,
was...
we were actually quite young because it was a high school, so we weren't even
they
in
had
high
all
school.
the daughter roles. And now knowing that our father was responsible for that whole theater program, I think it's injustice. Okay. I'm going to find that program. It's like Villager. There's Katherine and Elizabeth. Oh my gosh. I did not know that. So he was teaching at Crespi and commuting all the way to Crespi.
Because there's a school that you wanted the boys to get into that was really close there. What's that? St. John's or something?
Our Lady of Grace.
Our Lady of Grace.
Right across the street.
We didn't actually think of it to start with.
Oh.
Because it was out of our range.
Financially?
You know, when we,
oh,
that's an interesting story.
Or
when we
just
moved over
distance.
here, he already had been teaching at Crespi.
Oh, I see.
So, and we were going to have you go to St. Mel. Well, that was during the busing business when it started, and people started putting their kids in Catholic schools because they weren't part of the busing program.
right.
they weren't Catholic or...
Yeah, that was the first.
And who
yeah.
weren't Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Using
And
it almost as a
then-
private school because
Yeah.
Catholic schools are more
and
affordable.
It just used to annoy the hell out of me because here I am teaching, making, terrible salary compared to the public school teachers, and people are using it as a private
But
school.
Mom, what if we converted somebody? I mean,
Oh gosh, I didn't think of that in those days.
it's like, okay, so Dad's teaching at Crespi. He's doing
And-
that commute.
And he hates fog.
He hates fog.
He hates
Santa
fog.
Monica does have
Oh,
fog
very
socked
foggy.
in.
Yeah.
And his thought
That's so conducive to sleeping, which he loved.
Yeah,
so I'm very
well, there you
surprised
go.
by that.
That's so
he didn't
funny.
get enough of it in those days.
I have
anyway.
never heard that Dad hated fog. Interesting.
It's cold. It's foggy. Anyway, and he came over here, and it was nothing like the heat we have now.
Ooh.
But it was warm and it was sunny and la la la. And really, you couldn't take the house we had and just add to it.
Did you own the house on Rose Avenue?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, adding on to it would have been. It still would be a small house. So he started, without talking to me about it, he started looking at houses over here.
Like
in the
after
valley.
work or something like, or before work?
Yeah. And so anyway, and here I got this baby, and I'm pregnant, and and he wants me to come over here at 4:30.
oh, geez.
Now the traffic
with
wasn't-
all the children.
I mean, the traffic wasn't as bad as it is now, but
still.
And it's
that
my
is
nap time.
your nap time.
And more
No,
important, yeah.
I got news for you. James came home from first grade, and he went and took a nap every day.
Oh.
Because it was nap time.
Oh, gee.
And if I didn't have a nap,
It was everybody's nap time.
yeah, it didn't hold out to the end of the game. But
Well, what are you talking
he
about?
did
It's
that.
You still got nap time
Oh, well,
coming
I
up
do now.
regularly.
It's
Came back
interesting.
around to nap time.
I didn't know the Crespi factor into this at all. So where Crespi's located is about
Halfway.
3 towns away from
Yeah.
where we are now. So I mean, how did we end up? What, John? It is.
I mean, when we say towns, this is LA. They're all right next to each other. Yes, it
jeez.
might be 5 miles.
It's like 12 freeway exits. Okay, it's a lot.
I think it might be 4, but sure.
No way it's at 4. How do you go from that area to finding kind of deep in Woodland Hills?
Yeah, much farther to the end of the valley.
Oh, the Burnses.
Oh. So his
Johnny Burns.
So his very good friend
Really,
who
all does revolve around the Fogs, doesn't it?
Oh, that's interesting because Rosie, of
my
course,
gosh.
is married to Kirk Fogg. She was introduced to Kirk by John Burns.
That's
okay,
right.
so I was going to say who John Burns is. John
Yeah.
Burns was one of Dad's very, very good friends. He was also an actor.
He
and
met him in the audition line for Pasadena Playhouse
Oh,
when he first got to L.A. They were just in line together. And that was it.
they were friends.
Well, it's hard, God rest his soul, John Burns. It's hard not to be friends with John Burns. He is very charismatic and a big personality. Frank. It's like, I mean, he's a huge personality, very engaging. So I'm not
And he was a
surprised.
bachelor at the time.
Oh,
Sure, he didn't get married till much later. And he loved coming over for dinner. It was like, okay, I was actually planning on leftovers, but I guess that's not going to happen. But he was something. Oh,
so
my
they were already, well, at that point, he had to be married to Andre, his beautiful wife, and they were living in the San Fernando Valley.
yeah.
they did a couple of house flips,
They had
didn't
3
they?
or 4 house
Yeah,
flips in Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
So
I
that
remember
he
a
got
couple
look
of them.
at Woodland Hills, and he kind of liked it. And I don't know how he got notified about this realtor, but he said, I want you to come over here and we'll go out with this guy and we'll take a look at some places. So he got on the phone when we got in the office, and he was on the phone for a while. So Frank can read upside down.
Oh,
Not
really?
many
That's
people
interesting.
can, but he
I can
Wait a
barely
minute.
read
So-
right side up.
So he hates fog, and he taught at Crosby and started their theater program, and he could read upside down.
this is a lot of revelations.
I have a secret to reveal. It's not true. I have a secret to reveal. His bifocals were built upside down so that he could do that.
What?
Kidding.
Okay, so you're in a realtor's office.
And so we're just standing around there, and there's paperwork on the desk, and he's just kind of scanning what's out. And he sees this house, and he says, that sounds really interesting. Huh. So I wasn't paying any attention at all.
You were not reading upside down?
I was.
You probably were standing up asleep. It was nap time.
I've been known to
Wait,
do
were the
that.
kids with you, or we
Oh,
were
no,
all at
no,
home?
No, I was here.
Janet was probably watching, though.
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
And so anyway, so he said, I see you have a new listing on your desk. He goes,
No,
yeah.
I do. Oh.
And he says, I'd like to see it. And he's, oh, you don't want to see this. This is, all these reasons why we didn't want to see it. He said he still want to see it. So the guy was kind of in a tough spot. So he took us there. We walked around the house, and we sat down on the bed in the upstairs master bedroom. I mean, they didn't build houses like they do now, but you don't
The
have
biggest bedroom upstairs.
Yeah, that's all. Didn't have
Yeah,
a
now it's
connected
called
bathroom.
the primary bedroom.
Yeah. Well, and the implication with a primary bedroom today is that there's an attached bath. So you're saying it was the biggest bedroom, but did not have an attached bath.
Well, you know that.
No, of course.
But wait, you're sitting in that bedroom
And he
on
said-
this person's bed.
Yeah. And he
my
says to
gosh.
me, well, because I was waddling around by then, and he said, I'm making an offer on this house. No conversation whatsoever.
This is the first house you've seen.
It's the one and only house I saw, and I don't like California style house. You know how they build them, kind of open from one room to the next with no doors. I mean, I go back to the Bostonian background where, like, the living room had doors on it. You had to you could shut, and you could shut doors so that it was enclosed in the dining room, and and this just flows from one room into the other.
I thought you had some kind of realization that it might be good with all these small children to be able to watch
that
them.
was after.
Oh,
I
after.
had no thought of it being a good idea at the time. And
Yeah, knowing your background, this does not seem taste-wise at
Your type of
all
house.
your type of house.
no, it isn't.
that you have now lived in for 50 years. But
Seems
go on.
100% accurate for
cares?
succotash and our dad's flavor. Like, oh, a house that doesn't match all the things that you want, but financially and room-wise, nails it. Okay, lima beans and succotash.
Yeah.
stay away with all those choices.
So
I have no idea how that paralleled that. And I know. Wait, do we even want to go there?
no.
He's got a bland flavor, and his taste,
Yeah.
the style that he goes for,
Yeah.
is like lima beans and succotash, which are super bland and don't really have a lot of flavor. Like
I mean, okay,
Right.
but yeah, okay.
I get it.
I associate Dad with lima beans and succotash and the
Oh my
super
gosh, you
blandness
do?
of that.
That is funny.
Absolutely. That didn't exist in my life until I'm like, where did that come from? Dad wants succotash. Dad wants lima beans. All right, I guess I'm not eating vegetables today.
Aren't they a vegetable or legume?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're like a real dry. They're not great. What's in
they're not
succotash?
bad.
Is it lima beans and corn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Peas.
we all hate corn. What are you talking about? But look, go to Gelson's. They've
Yeah.
got a succotash that's fine. It's great.
Succotash. First of all, succotash is a very fun word.
Yeah.
Succotash.
And as
glad you're
adults,
having
we should
fun.
realize it's not bad.
I'm gonna bring succotash to the next family dinner, Ed,
I
just
love
to
it.
taunt you.
Well, Thanksgiving's coming up soon. That'll be an appropriate.
No, we
dish.
cannot have any more side dishes. That one's not allowed. No. Okay, wait.
On your birthday.
No, Mike.
Dad's,
Wait a minute.
Halloween.
Dad's taste being a very flavorless taste. The house. Yes, that's where we were.
So he's sitting on the bed and says to you, "I'm going to make an offer."
Yeah.
Because
So
it
he
checked
did.
enough of the boxes.
You didn't say no. I don't like this house.
I was.
Were you asleep?
flabbergasted.
I mean, what was happening?
I don't know.
You hadn't
I
had your
probably
nap.
was.
He knew exactly what he was doing. Let's book this.
what is her
Let's
nap
book this
time?
tour.
I'm going to have her
She was-
drive through
no.
traffic all the way. To
Wait. A, B type personalities and extrovert, introvert on the Myers-Briggs test.
Oh,
Ultra extrovert. Mm-hmm. Your dad, ultra introvert, meaning
Entered
introvert.
or introvert.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, introvert. He would make up his mind. He'd be thinking about something. He wouldn't tell you anything about it,
He's been working on it.
and then he tells you the conclusion he's come to.
Oh.
And you're like, we're moving to the valley. I had a song with a friend of mine. We'd sing it when we were leaving for the valley because we'd been there for something. And the valley, oh, they do such things and they say such things in the valley. I'll never go there anymore.
Are you serious?
You think I could pull that out of my...
Why in the world did you agree to this house in the valley then?
Oh, well.
And
I
it's not like
didn't
you
really.
didn't have opinions because, there were battle royales growing up that, mom had an opinion that was contrary to dad. So,
Yeah.
and even as a kid, I was like, our house is kind of an odd house. Yes, there's 5 bedrooms, but it's odd. So, I mean, and knowing your background of, especially with your parents, sort of very high decor design houses, I mean, you couldn't get more of basically a box house that's ours. I mean, and the backyard had I remember as a kid,
It was cement.
I remember walking in
it
that
was terrible.
backyard and being like, what the hell?
You probably didn't think that at that age.
Yes, I did, because I had never. It was so bizarre because there wasn't a lawn, and in the front, really, or the back. I think we might have one in the front, but there wasn't one in the back. If you're looking out in the backyard, there's a big hill, which kind of made you go, all right, are we going to be able to go up on that hill and cause craziness? That might be good, but that's odd.
Which we did.
because we saw it for the first time as kids, sort of at night. So it was
did?
ominous looking. Yes, because then in the corner was a sort of a carved. It was
Like a cutout in
a
the
cutout in
concrete.
the concrete, and there was a planter in there. And out crawled, it was probably either a raccoon or a possum. And I was like, where have you taken us? This is hell. And I was probably 4 years old. I was like, I hate it here. But then
I don't remember you saying anything about it.
no, it was
You're gonna
already
say
bought.
that
We
now.
were moving. It was done. And it was like, oh,
Yeah, we didn't
my
get a
gosh.
vote.
We did have a
we
beautiful
didn't think-
tree in the backyard at that
Yeah,
point.
that was,
did.
yeah.
We
Yeah, that was a beautiful, I don't know what kind of tree it was, but it was a big, beautiful tree that had good climbing branches. So the backyard had potential, but you definitely were like, this is a change.
Yeah.
Now,
Ugh.
are you thinking at this point, because of your history with moving, that you might not stay there very long?
Probably. I mean, we moved almost every 2 years when I was growing up.
And then how many times did you move with Dad? Did you move a lot with Dad prior to this?
We had, I'm trying to think, maybe it was the 4th move.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you're saying, all right, I'll just let him have this one. We'll be moving in 2 years.
Yeah. So anyway,
Or a little bit
Never,
anyway. Yeah.
Ever moved.
Yeah, never moved.
and so then he's going to make a bid, and he bid exactly at the sale, at the
Oh, the asking price.
asking price. His feeling was that he wasn't going to show it to anybody. He'd put it aside for somebody.
Oh,
And
you
we
think
got the benefit
yeah.
of it because it was highly.
Well, do you feel like you got
underpriced.
the benefit of it?
You know what it's worth today?
No, I
Yeah.
mean, didn't you buy it for like $50,000 or $60,000?
$39,950.
$40,000. Oh my!
That's astonishing.
That's a crazy. I
Could
mean,
trade that house in for a car right now.
yeah, a few cars, like a fleet of cars at this point. No.
Well, anyway, so that
I mean, that is the benefit of staying in the house for this long.
And you were pregnant with Virginia. So did you move? Like, we're just going to wrap up Virginia because we don't want to get into actually living or moving in the Valley yet. We'll come back to that your next episode, everybody. Okay?
Yeah, the next episode
will be called
with
The
Mary.
Valley. And you'll have to open the whole episode singing that song again because what the hell was that? I mean,
It was amazing.
Oh my God. Okay, so you are pregnant. He buys the house. He gets the house. And was Virginia born in the San Fernando Valley, the first baby?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Virginia's the first Valley baby, so we will pick it up there. I think because there's a lot to we started with Rosemary's birth story, and now we're going to end with Virginia's.
Yeah.
and it went from Rose Avenue to now the Killmonds have landed in the San Fernando Valley. We were Valley kids.
Absolutely.
What year was that?
73.
73.
So wait a minute. So when I'm remembering this possum or raccoon, I was 4 years old. So
It was probably terrifying. We didn't have anything like that on the west side.
No. I mean, that hill in the backyard, that was like live animals up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
oh
It was
yeah, we'll go into that
wilderness.
because there was. I mean, we were just allowed to roam wild, which was awesome.
Allowed / encouraged. Just
Get
go
out
up
of the
there.
house.
Yeah.
I just have to tell you one thing about
Yeah.
moving. We were there a little while, and then Dad saw an ad for a table in the green sheet.
It was not the penny saver. It was the green
No, it was
sheet.
called the green sheet.
How ironic! The green sheet.
And it was of avocado wood. Okay, the base is wood, and it's laminated with avocado.
Color.
Yeah,
Because I mean, when you think about an avocado pit, I guess.
but again, it was
I
I wouldn't
Avocado
make a
tree.
whole table from the pit, but the trees that come from are
That's what
not
I always thought as a
thick
kid.
trees.
I was like, how did you make a whole table of an avocado pit? Now I'm realizing it was the avocado tree. I always thought it was.
Why
a
is this
pit.
table so bumpy? You made it from avocado
had nothing
pits?
to do with made from avocado.
It absolutely did not. It's Formica, basically.
Yeah.
It's like laminate.
Yeah, yeah.
So he sees
avocado
this ad.
color.
So we go look
Yeah.
at it, and I'm thinking,
Mom,
this
you
is
had no
not
voice.
my
What's going on?
Idea. I just have no idea that this is something I want in my house. And I'm just walking around, and he says to me, "What do you think?" I said, "I think it's fantastic," meaning like weird.
Because it went from
Fantastical.
a round table and then
feet
had
around.
4 leaves.
Or 6 leaves. It
I
had
mean,
a ton.
it just expanded forever.
And so anyway, we get it. They had those horrible rocket plastic chairs.
the white
Which
scoop
now,
chairs.
if you watch Antique Roadshow, are worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
But if you
not
sat
after
in them
you
on a
guys
hot
sat
summer
in
day
them.
in the valley, the sweat would just pool underneath your ass.
They were. Anyway, so I come downstairs in the morning, and Rosemary is walking across the table.
On top of the table?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I thought, good thing we didn't get the kind of table I wanted.
Once again, you thought, and we'll get the prestigious Chippendale table a few years from now.
Yeah.
We still have the
That
avocado made out of pits table.
I can't believe we still have that table, but we do.
Well, and it's handy. We can get a lot of people around
It's
it.
very sturdy.
Oh,
it's
my
really, even though it survived a fire, has held up.
We can't get into the fire story. We
No,
cannot
no,
get.
no.
Okay. All right. So let's put a pin in it from right now because we're basically about to really move into the valley. So let's just stop there because the valley is really
its own story.
It's the Killmonds have going to take over San Feliciano.
Yeah.
So let's just leave it there. The neighborhood did not know what was about to hit them. So okay. Well, Mom, Thank you for joining us on camera, on video. Now you can all
Yes.
see
Oh,
what Mary
yes.
looks like. Yeah, so thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And all of you, thank you for listening and now watching
Yep.
Family Dynamics. Catherine, do you want to wrap up with our social?
Yes, sure. You can follow us on all of our social media at Family DynamiKs with a K, and that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Twitter, or whatever it's called now, for as long as that lasts. Anything else?
Catherine.
Oh, and then, of course, YouTube. You can watch the videos on the Knack Entertainment YouTube channel.
Great.
So that's it for this episode. So thank you for joining us on Everybody Together Ready?
Family Dynamics.